Hey guys, winter is officially here. You know what that means. I owe you a skincare and hair care empties video. All of the products I finished up throughout the fall months. Now, many of these products I actually started long before fall began. And as usual, I'm not going to be sharing any of my sunscreen empties today. I do that in a separate video. Make sure you stay tuned for that. It will probably go live sometime next week. Starting out with hair care, about over a year ago at this point, I would say, L'Oreal sent me several hair care products, and I've made my way through some of them. The first comes from this metal detox line, both the shampoo and the conditioning mask. Now, these products are intended for people who get their hair color treated and want to preserve that color treatment, like people who do balayage, for example, and also want to combat those kind of brassy tones that can arise. I don't color treat my hair. I've never had balayage before. I don't dye my hair, so these aren't really intended for me, but it's not as though you can't use them if you don't have color treated hair. All that to say, I really like these. And they lasted me a long time. The shampoo generates a nice lather and rinses out easily. As I've said in my videos before, you don't need a ton of shampoo to adequately cleanse your scalp. And it left my hair silky, smooth, glossy, manageable. When I use this, I would use the mask along with it after rinsing it out as my conditioner, and this really kept my hair soft and manageable. While these were sent to me in PR, I definitely would purchase them, even though I don't color treat my hair. They ended up being really good for me, and I really like them. They do have fragrance. It's a pleasant scent, not super strong. No methyl isothiazolinone. Methyl isothiazolinone or methylchloroisothiazolinone, that family of preservatives is frequently found in shampoos and they're a very common allergen. So I try and avoid those. I don't typically recommend products that have those preservatives because it is a very common allergen. Allergy to those preservatives is on the rise. With that in mind, that brings me to the next set of products from them that I tried that do have those preservatives. Well, at least the shampoo. The Everpure purple shampoo and purple conditioner. I've been wanting to try a purple shampoo for a long time now. You know, people who color treat their hair, dye their hair blonde, they can deal with brassiness. Purple shampoo helps neutralize that and brighten things up. But it also can help if you have brown hair and maybe some natural blonde highlights to brighten those blondes up. And sometimes I notice that the natural blonde highlights in my hair, sometimes they do look a little dull. I blame it on the hard water. So I've been wanting to try a purple shampoo for a long time. When they sent me these, I was like, it has methyl isothiazolinone, but I'm gonna give it a try, see if it does anything to my hair and move forward. And I have to say, this does what it says it does. I really notice a visible difference in the overall brightness of my hair when I use the shampoo and conditioner. It lasts a couple of days. I only ended up using the shampoo and conditioner about once or twice a week at most. In addition to the fact that I don't care for the preservatives in this, the shampoo itself is kind of on the drying side. And one thing about these shampoos is they go on the hair strands, so that further can leave the hair dry, unmanageable. The conditioner helps neutralize that. It does a decent job leaving the hair manageable, but sometimes not enough given how drying the shampoo could be. They do work to brighten up your hair. The fragrance is very strong, and it's not like my favorite scent in the world. That, coupled with the fact that, again, I don't like that preservative, I don't know that I would repurchase these, but it definitely did help neutralize the brassy tones in my hair and motivated me to want to try another purple shampoo in the future, maybe from a brand that doesn't use a methyl isothiazolinone. Another shampoo and conditioner not meant for my hair, but used it anyway, is the Bond Strengthening Shampoo and Conditioner from the L'Oreal Everpure line. Again, the shampoo has that preservative family that I don't recommend. Methylchloroisothiazolinone and methyl isothiazolinone. So a lot of these bond repair products have ingredients, technologies in them that aim to reapproximate broken disulfide bonds that come about as a result of different chemical processing, hair treatments, dyes, etc., and can leave the hair frizzy, prone to breakage, tangling. I don't have color treated or chemically processed hair, so I can't really speak to the efficacy of the bond repair technology in the shampoo and conditioner. Both of these though did leave my hair soft, manageable, glossy. I really liked them, if I'm being honest. No residue was left on my hair. The fragrance is very strong, not my preference in terms of the scent. It's kind of very perfumey, and it does linger. Overall, so-so on these, but again, I'm not the demographic for which they are made for, but wanted to share those with you. Still wouldn't recommend regardless because of that problematic preservative family. Skincare time. We have a vat of good old petroleum jelly, Up and Up brand. I'm telling you, I was, in the Target the other day with you guys, and I noticed that the Vaseline brand of petroleum jelly is like almost twice the price of this. So definitely consider getting the store brand. It does the same thing, same active ingredient, works just as well, half the price. Really love my petroleum jelly. I mean, there are so many uses for it. Lips, dry eyelids. I like to put it all over my feet, cover with socks. Really helps keep the feet soft, smooth, and supple. Also like putting it on my lower legs and then putting on my pajama pants for almost a soak and smear approach. Check out my video on how to repair skin fast. I talk about the soak and smear technique there, but petroleum jelly. One of my favorite brands of moisturizers is Eucerin. They don't make a bad one. And the Advanced Repair Lotion, I really like. It has ceramides, which are lipids naturally found in your skin barrier. They can become deficient with age, with underlying skin conditions. Applying them topically can help improve ceramide production, improve barrier function. This also has urea, a humectant that softens and exfoliates dry, rough skin. And it has amino acids, which are natural moisturizing factors that help improve hydration. This is a very thick formula, absorbs nicely, doesn't leave a greasy residue. It really helps rejuvenate the look of dry skin and helps improve barrier function and moisture retention. Highly recommend this, free of fragrance. Speaking of body moisturizers, another good one from Aveeno, the Tone and Texture Renewing Night Cream. This has polyhydroxy acid in it, gluconolactone. Polyhydroxy acids very gently exfoliate rough, dry, flaky skin while also improving moisture retention. In addition to that, this has coconut oil in it, an emollient that actually has a pretty good track record for people who have atopic dermatitis as a moisturizing ingredient. It also has shea butter in it, and it has oat kernel flour, which is hydrating, anti-inflammatory, and also helps as a barrier supporting ingredient. I really liked the texture of this. It was almost kind of glossy and silky, but also very rich at the same time. They make this in a lotion as well. The lotion is more lightweight, but is equally as good. They're both fragrance free. Okay, I finished this up actually this morning. It has become a 2023 Korean skincare favorite. This comes from Skin 1004. I always call it Skin 1004, but I heard that it's Skin 1004. They're Madagascar Centella Probio Cica Intensive Ampule. This has a Lactobacillus centella ferment. Fermentation refers to basically chemical reactions performed by microorganisms. I mean, when you hear fermentation, we often think of things like, well, yeast fermenting the sugars in grapes to make wine, yogurt, but fermentation is utilized in skincare. And in some cases, it may actually enrich for more active ingredients, get them in a more bioavailable form. That's not always the case. It's kind of a broad category. But all that to say, I don't know to what extent the fermentation is specifically what makes this great or not, but I really found it to be a very hydrating and pleasurable ampule to use. It has this almost slippery, soothing texture to it. In addition to the ferment, it has panthenol, which is wonderful for moisture retention. It has ceramide in it, which again, lipid naturally found in skin's outermost layer. It has allantoin in it, which is anti-inflammatory. And it has tea in it, which may deliver some anti-inflammatory antioxidants. This product I found delivered pretty similar results to what I achieve when I use a snail mucin, the CosRX Snail Power Essence. I love that product. I found that this is kind of a good alternative to that if you're not interested in using snail. It gave that nice hydrated, plump, smooth appearance to the skin. And like I said, I really enjoyed this. This is a product that I kept wanting to go back to over and over again. This whole line is really good. As a side note, I really love the cream. Still working on that, but this is definitely a favorite. I finished a bottle of the Skin Smart Antimicrobial Hypochlorous spray. I go through one of these pretty much every season. I like to spray these on like when after I'm working out and I'm all sweaty. It's not as though I can immediately jump in a shower. I just find that it helps deodorize, cuts down on the bacteria on the skin that break down sweat. It's good if you're like me and you have eczema, atopic dermatitis, sweat on the skin as an irritant. So this kind of helps soothe the skin. You know, I get a lot of questions about hypochlorous and incorporating it into a skincare routine because it does, you know, it can theoretically inactivate certain active ingredients. So, you know, should I use this at the same time as hypochlorous? I will say it's not the most well studied in terms of what it can and cannot be used along with. But in my approach to using this, I don't really see it as something that you incorporate into your skincare routine, but rather use it in situations where you can benefit from it throughout your day. For example, like I said, I use it when I get really sweaty and I don't have time to immediately get in the shower. Or I like to spray it on my feet to deodorize my feet. If you have atopic dermatitis, you feel itch coming on, like on your arms or legs, you've got eczema that's flaring, it's great to spray this on because not only is it soothing, but it can help cut down on the bacteria on the skin surface that aggravate atopic dermatitis, namely staph. And it's also great if you are acne prone. You could spray it on your chest and your back. So those are, you know, kind of scenarios where I use this. Again, I don't really see hypochlorous as something that necessarily should be incorporated into just your routine per se. This is also a good thing should you get a cut or a scrape. You can spray this on to clean out the wound. Really great option in that regard. But like I said, I don't really view it as something that is incorporated into a skincare routine. All right, you guys, I finished up the CeraVe Ultralight Moisturizing Gel. I reviewed this for you all, wow, was it sometime early in 2023? Is that the year that we're finishing? Yeah. I enjoyed this. It's fine, but I would not repurchase it. It's basically, in my opinion, very, very similar, if not identical, to CeraVe PM, their lightweight facial moisturizer, which I've always loved and recommended. This is almost identical, slightly more lightweight. I mean, just the consistencies are ever so slightly different. Splitting hairs kind of difference. But this is a little more expensive, if I remember correctly. So I say just stick with CeraVe PM. Not bad, but didn't blow me out of the water. Ceramides, which are good for the skin barrier. Niacinamide, similar to CeraVe PM, which is good for redness, the moisture barrier, hyperpigmentation. I mean, CeraVe, you know, their products are good, but like, I don't really feel as though this adds a whole lot to their portfolio. So I've been working on this for like 2 years now. This is Malin Goetz, I hope I'm saying that right, Rum Hand and Body Wash. This was gifted to me in PR a couple of years ago. And I've just been slowly making my way through it. It's been in my shower for a long time now. This body wash is nice. Not a whole lot to say about it. It's gentle, it's not drying, it produces a mild lather. I never used it as a hand wash, but I suppose you could do that. It does not have methyl isothiazolinone in it, but obviously it does have fragrance. I mean, it's a nice gel formula. I really like this scent, actually. It's a really nice scent. I don't know that it smells like rum. It does have a little citrus spice aroma to it. It has a mild surfactant, cocamidopropylbutane. It has amino acids, which are good for the moisture barrier. This was fine. Like, objectively, there's nothing wrong with this. Unless you're allergic to fragrance, I wouldn't, you know, obviously you'd have to avoid it. It's very expensive though. So do I think it's worth I think it's like $38 for this body wash? No. If somebody gave you this as a Christmas gift, you know, as long as you're not allergic to fragrance, enjoy. I can't say anything bad about it otherwise, truthfully, other than, you know, avoid if you're allergic to fragrance and, you know, it's expensive. It did take me a really long time to make my way through. I will say that. We have a cleanser, mystery cleanser. Okay, this was gifted to me from Rock. Sometimes brands will send PR with, you know, labels removed, especially if it's before a product is launched and they want you to test it out before the product even launches. I can't remember. I think that was the case here. What is it? It is the Rock Barrier Renew Gel to Foam Cleanser. I have to say, nothing bad to say about this either. Fragrance-free. just like it says, gel to foam cleanser. Comes out as a gel, generates a nice, gentle, mild foam, and it's a really good, mild, basic cleanser. It has ceramide in it, again, good for the moisture barrier. Beta-cytosterol lipid, that's also good for dry skin. It has squalane and tea extract, which may deliver some polyphenols to the skin. Very mild, not drying, it does a good job cleansing. It's good. I have nothing bad to say about it. I actually really enjoyed it. Okay, I finished the Cetaphil Healthy Renew Face Serum with purified peptides. Rather enjoyed this. This is just a nice, lightweight, hydrating serum. It has rice leaf extract, it has soy, and purified peptides come from botanic ingredients. And it's a really nice, hydrating, soothing formula. I enjoyed using this basically in the morning after cleansing. It absorbs really quickly, and then sunscreen goes over it really nicely. This is kind of a fun system of delivery of the moisturizing ingredients. When you get the product, you see these little glittery peach colored beads throughout it. Then as you pump it out, those beads break up into the formula evenly. What I like most about this actually is the packaging, because look at that. You can see I have used every single last drop. Super satisfying, nothing lingering behind that you can't see. We all know how annoying that is when you can't get the dregs out of packaging. Really, really like that. As a matter of fact, I also finished, surprise, surprise, the eye gel serum from them. Now, I'm not someone who uses eye creams, eye serums much, but I do try out many of them. Like the face serum, this has the rice leaf extract, the soy. But why I ended up using this so much and finishing it and liking it and coming back to it is I actually use this not so much for the skincare aspect of it, but to prep my eye area before applying eyeshadow, eye makeup, concealer. It's really good in that regard, almost as a primer. Help the eyeshadow stay on longer, cut down on creasing. Really worked well in that regard. I have repurchased it, and I will continue to use it for eye makeup application purposes. I mean, I really noticed a visible difference in how my under eye concealer, especially that Milani Perfect and Conceal under eye concealer, goes on when I use this beforehand versus not using this. And I'm sure that could be the case with pretty much any moisturizing eye product out there, but I really found that this formula was very conducive to makeup application. I didn't get any pilling, flaking, incompatibility, and it's just a nice lightweight hydrating gel. Last but certainly not least, we have some products from Rhode skincare. Now, this is a celebrity brand, which we all side-eye, but I have to say, excluding the lip glosses, everything else from this brand has been objectively good, including the glazing milk, which I really like. This is a silky, milky, creamy toner with peptides, which can improve moisture content in the skin's outermost layer, ceramide again. In contrast to many other toners that I've used, this one almost had like a little bit of grip to it. It was not quite as runny as other liquid toners, so I kind of like that textural aspect of it. I really liked this. I liked putting this on after cleansing, and then over it, the peptide glazing fluid. Like the whole marketing around this brand was like looking like a glazed donut. That was really popular for a while, especially on TikTok. People don't really talk about that anymore, but I will say that this is objectively a good lightweight facial moisturizer, kept my skin hydrated. Check out my full review of Rhode skincare. I could talk more in depth about the ingredients there, but like I said, I really can't say anything bad about these products. They worked well for me, and I would repurchase them. But you know, who knows if they will stick around. Celebrity brands are kind of here today, gone tomorrow, cash grab type endeavors. So only time will tell in that regard. All right, y'all, that wraps up my fall 2023 skincare and hair care empties. Again, make sure you come back for the sunscreen empties video. I'm gonna film it right now. But I hope you guys enjoyed this one. If so, give it a thumbs up, share it with your friends, and as always, don't forget, sunscreen and subscribe. I'll talk to you guys tomorrow. Bye.